Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to drop in and say a few words to y'all. First off, peace and power. Hope y'all having a nice day. It's afternoon here. What up? Darkness is falling. How you doing, man? Hope y'all having a nice day. So it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If anybody is that far away around the world, but thank y'all for coming on and chopping it up with me for a little bit. But of course, man, we have to talk about the fact that the great Deontay, peace and power, Leeson Bales. How you doing? How you doing? The great Deontay Wilder has resurfaced. He has made a YouTube video, not a YouTube, I think it's Instagram or whatever. So, without further ado, we're gonna let you hear what the man has got to say.
Squad Nation, to all my loved ones around the world, I just want to let you know that I am here. Your king is here, and we ain't going nowhere, for the war has just begun. I will rise again. I am strong. I am a king. They can't take my pride. I am a warrior. I'm a king that will never give up. I'm a king that will fight to the death. And if anyone don't understand that, don't understand what it is to go to war, don't understand what it is to fight, we will rise again. We will regain the title. I will be back. We will hold our heads up high. Your king is in great spirit. And we will rise like a phoenix from the ashes and regain the title. I'll see you in a few months, for the war has just begun. All my love to all my people.
And that was, and that was the man himself, Mr. Bomb Squad, the king of y'all. He said, the man said, he's back. The war has just begun. He said that twice. He said, y'all king is back. For the longest time, because, everybody knows I've always said that I used to be a Deontay Wilder fan. But I realized Deontay Wilder is the type of person who offends certain sensibilities about me, right? I am a person who, I think I've said it a million times, I am a Pan-Africanist. I am a person who looks for Black excellence. And I'm a person who just loves my people. I do lectures. I do some history classes every now and again here on the island. I teach about different issues our people have had for a long time. We teach about the good, the bad, and all this, right? The sensibilities that Deontay Wilder offends about me is the fact that, peace, Lou, is the fact that Deontay uses his own personal insecurities. He mixes his own personal insecurities. He conflates the issues, his own internal stuff, and he pushes that or he projects that onto his career. And the people around Deontay Wilder realize that he is, what's up, Red Glove? Realize that he also has these issues inside of him. So he's easily twisted and turned. This goes back to when Deontay Wilder was saying, the Brit fans are racist. Deontay Wilder wasn't saying that before these sycophants in the LDBC or whatever, before these sycophants were saying that. So he takes his cues from them. These are people that depend on pushing certain narratives, right? And playing on certain fragility within Black people. And the things that really push our buttons, the things that are ingrained in us. And Deontay Wilder takes his cues from them. It's like they feed off of each other. Wilder is talking about Y'all King is here. And he might be accurate because the way these people treat Deontay Wilder, they excuse his nonsense, they excuse his bullshit, and they just say yes to him. That's like a king. People just tell kings that you're right, sir. Yes, you're right. No matter what, the king is always right. So this is a person who I was just saying that offends me because, well, not him as a person, but his demeanor, his boastfulness, his use of real issues within the black community globally, not just him. Globally, he uses that to push a certain agenda and to justify his shortcomings in his own career. But he's so hypocritical in his career, which we'll get to that, after I'm finished this. He's hypocritical in his own career. So Deontay Wilder used the fact that he's dark-skinned, why he hasn't accomplished much. What's up, Martha Machine, Red Glove, Lisa Bales, Lou, Darkness is Falling, and anybody else that might be in here, just watching, right? He uses these issues about him being dark-skinned. Oh, they might like me if I was dark-skinned. The problem is, almost all the American heavyweights were dark-skinned. Almost all of them who accomplished something were dark-skinned, right? He says the British fans are racist. They're racist, don't like me, except he went to Britain and he himself said he never felt that kind of love before. The man was on video saying he almost lost his voice, right? Deontay Wilder convinces himself. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Deontay Wilder has convinced himself somehow in his own personality cult. He's convinced himself that he really is this person. He really is this person. He's convinced himself, he's allowed other people also to feed his ego, because he has a huge ego, by the way. People with insecurity issues always try to mask those insecurities with boastfulness, with a big ego. And they push this big character out there to hide the pain behind. He didn't accomplish much in his career, so it has to be somebody else. And finally, when he steps up in competition, when he finally can't hide no more, he gets humbled. It took Deontay Wilder almost a week, to come out and say something to anybody. Deontay Wilder is nobody's hero. I wish that he would have gained some maturity from this flogging, from this beating, but it's not likely. This is a man who has blamed everybody else for his own shortcomings. He finally got a beating, and he's still not humble. He's a king. I don't have a problem with you calling yourself a king, brother. But there's different ways, because when I address other brothers, I call them, what's up, king? How you doing, king? Lisa Bales, what's up, queen? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But this man really believes like he is some larger than life figure. He has convinced himself of this. And the people that support him in a sycophantic way, these people are not doing him any favors. I can't remember a fan base that's taken a loss this badly. I don't remember. If anybody can tell me, I know some people try to tell me it's similar to when Floyd and Manny Pacquiao fought, but I really wasn't following YouTube boxing back in them times, so I don't know. So people were saying, they call them packtards or whatever. And from what I understand, a lot of these same people who support Deontay Wilder didn't support Floyd. They supported Manny Pacquiao, which is really strange. But Deontay Wilder, as I was saying, really takes serious issues in our community, Black people's communities, and has used them to push a certain business agenda. Deontay Wilder gets beaten up, and the first person he turns on is a black man in Mark Breland. What kind of king shit is that? The first person he turns on is a black man in Mark Breland. And I'm seeing he says he's going to keep Mark Breland. Now, what kind of person is Mark Breland that you're going to sit there and work with somebody who, as soon as they got a bit of adversity, as soon as they hit a bump in the road, they choose to throw you under the bus? For two white men. I said it before, Shelly Finkel walked up on the apron of the ring. I was up there questioning Mark Breland, why you threw in the towel? Jay Diaz, oh, I didn't throw in the towel, that's Mark Breland. We have to discuss why he threw in the towel. Deontay Wilder is a Gordon and Shield type of guy. That's why the saying goes, our skin folk ain't kinfolk, because trust me, Deontay Wilder is not Mark Breland's kinfolk. How could you stare on somebody who called you an agent? How Deontay Wilder gonna watch Mark Breland in the face from now? How Mark Breland gonna watch him in the face, training with him? How you gonna have trust, in each other? How? You can't call me an agent, a double agent, and then still expect me to work with you. This is the arrogance of Deontay. I'm hearing rumors that Mark Breland was crying outside the locker room because they shut him out of the changing room. He couldn't go in. I don't know if that's true. But I did tell people he's not going to fire Mark Breland because the public outcry was too strong. The public was too strong. Somebody in Deontay Wilder's team told him to walk that back. Don't bother with the Mark Breland thing. Walk it back. That was not Wilder's decision. That was somebody else's decision who saw the public outcry and the backlash that he would have got. King? What's up, people? How y'all doing today? What's up, Lou? Mad Machine, Red? How y'all doing? If anybody want to jump on with me and vibe with me, feel free. Mad Machine is on. Mad Machine, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Iron Kong? How you feeling, man?
All good, man. How are you? Talk to me.
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just listening to your live stream, man, and I agree with everything you're saying. What's up, chat? It's crazy, man, because I believe, man, that even, his yes men, like the LDBC, are putting a battery in his back, making him believe is a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten so many debates, Iron Kong, with people, man, like, some of my brothers, man, some people I know, man, oh, you a sellout, man, you a coon, man, and Tyson Fury is a racist. Man, no, he's not. He's not a racist. What are you talking about?
How they figure that?
What are you talking about, man?
How they figure that? What did Tyson Fury say about racist?
Exactly. I said, man, did you hear Tyson Fury shut down that fake-ass narrative that Jason Whitlock tried to bring forth? Did y'all hear that? Oh, no, man, we didn't hear. I'm like, man, this shit is crazy. They're making it about race, man, when it's really not.
I'm seeing people telling me, like, on Twitter, they were like, oh, man, the hood lost bad. So I was like, how? Oh, are you black? Are you black? You see Deontay? I'm like, wait, hold on. Explain to me what exactly, because I like to know people who are doing good things for black people. So I asked them, explain to me what Deontay Wilder did for black people in America. Like, what are some of the issues he stood on? What are some of the actions he's done?
Right.
And they can't answer me. All they can tell me is that a black man was fighting a white man. I'm like, so that's it? Y'all just hang on to this dude because he's fighting Tyson Fury. I mean, so y'all didn't follow Deontay Wilder all these years. Y'all didn't watch him. It's just that ESPN brought it up, and it's Black History Month, and y'all wanted something.
Real talk.
Fuck y'all talking about? What's this?
Delusional, man.
You know what I'm saying?
This shit is crazy, man. Like, I had a dude, like, really, I got threatened, man. I had a dude, man, call me out, talking about if he see me in the streets, he was gonna clap me. I said, look, dog.
What?
You're really emotional for this shit. You know what I mean? Like, for real? Like, oh yeah, motherfucker, don't let me find out who you are. I'm like, man, cut it out. Are Are you serious?
Wow.
Like, are you serious? Yeah, man, literally, straight up. Straight up.
Wow.
I invited him to the gym. Like, bro, we can go to the gym, put some gloves on. We can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mark,
But
let me tell you
like,
something,
man,
bro.
hey, it's nuts, man.
Let me ask you something because I was wondering: have you seen a fan base take a loss this terribly before?
Never,
Wow.
never in my life, man, have I seen. I mean, even Floyd fans. I felt Floyd fans, man, were crazy. But this shit right here is bananas, man. This is bananas. Yeah,
I'm really not understanding because I ask people, tell me what about Deontay Wilder is such a powerful force in the community. There's an interview with Xavier Porter and Shoot the Five and it's a YouTube channel. He had on Leon Muhammad, big dude. You know Leon Muhammad. He's an ex Don King guy, right? What up, UGC? And Xavier Porter is one of these guys who loves Deontay Wilder. Now, Leon Muhammad is a Muslim, NOI guy, all that. And Xavier starts up about, Deontay. Matter of fact, let me find it. Because I want y'all to see the reaction of Leon Muhammad to Xavier's line of conversation, right? Because it's crazy. Hold on. Here it is. You there, Mar?
yeah, I'm here. Yep.
All right. Let me share my screen with you. You seeing this?
Yeah, yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Now look at the reaction of Leon Muhammad. Leon Muhammad is a dude who's been around a long time, black fighters and all this. Look at the reaction.
So yeah, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was we still on Deontay Wilder, chopping it up because we're gonna be here kicking it for a minute now.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about Wilder was I applaud him, I respect him, I got a lot of respect for him for everything that he stands for, committed to the black cause and fight for African American rights, things like that. They're trying to change. Hear me out. Let me finish. They're trying to change the way.
You see the reaction?
Right.
Let me go back a little bit. Let me show y'all again.
Right.
Because this dude doesn't see it all, and he's talking. Watch this again.
Fight for African American rights, things like that. They're trying to change. Hear me out. Let me finish.
Leon was like, "What the fuck you talking about? Fighting for African American rights? What you talking about, bro? Right? No,
yeah.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I mean, again, man, I just really believe, man, that his circle put the battery in his back. Like that Instagram post, man, that was so theatrical, man. I was like, man, look at this bullshit. Are you kidding me? Whose fucking king are you, man? Like,
Bro,
cut it the fuck out, man. This is boxing, bruh. Like, man, look, humble yourself, dog. Get back in the gym, learn your craft. If you want to fight the man for a third fight, okay, I believe you're gonna get his ass washed again. But come on, man. Cut that shit out, man. That shit was sick to watch, man. I was like, man, you gotta be nuts, man.
When I saw this video, I was just like, yo, this dude really, really bought into his own bullshit. This is what happens when you feed a man a bunch of nobodies to fight. But the truth is, he really takes that into his mind. Look, man, okay, you feed him a bunch of nobody, but the fighter himself has to be self-aware enough. You have to be self-aware, to know, look, I really haven't fought the best guys. I really haven't. I've done well. You know what I'm saying? Let me chill. You know what I'm saying? Let me not go overboard. But this dude is making himself a spectacle, right? And it's like, no, it's making people go back in and actually look at his record. You're making people dissect your record to see who you are. Because a lot of people know, you see videos of them breaking down this man. Because I think it was a dude called Wood Stay Real, and he was like, they're attacking Sean Porter. So them dudes started breaking down saying, oh, Sean Porter only had his belt for 1 year and lost it right away, blah, blah, blah. So people started breaking down Deontay Wilder's record. And they say, no, Sean Porter was a multiple-time world champion. He fought much better competition than Deontay Wilder. How is
Right,
it Sean Porter
facts.
can't? How is it so Sean Porter know all of a sudden is some coon? He can't say nothing.
Exactly.
I'm trying. I need somebody to tell me what it is about Deontay Wilder. What is it about Deontay Wilder that you cannot criticize? And what is it about him? The problem is they don't want nobody to criticize. That's why he hasn't gotten no better. He hasn't gotten no better.
Real talk.
So what now? Because the fight is due in July. It's due in July, and they want it in July because if Fury beats him again, and if AJ beats Kubrat Pulev, they want to have that fight in December for Undisputed.
Right.
So between now and July, what is the king going to do, man?
He's not gonna do anything, man. He has to humble himself, man. He's gonna come in there, man, and just try to bomb out like he does before, like he has before, man. No technique, no sweet science, man. He's just gonna get washed again, and you'll have motherfuckers jumping off bridges, man, and out here wilding out, man.
I see dudes saying, they drove home with a tear in their eye, and
yes,
what the fuck, y'all? What is happening? Like, what's this?
Losing sleep and shit, man. Look, Terrence Crawford is my favorite fighter, man. If he lost, man, I'm not getting emotional, man. It's boxing. You know what I mean? I love boxing more than I love a fighter, man. You feel me? It's like, man, come on, man.
Well, you gotta.
Man.
They have to quantify to me because, hey, if you tell me today, look, man, Wilder really, he does charities, he works with kids,
right.
he does blase. If you're gonna tell me them things, I'll shut up. Right? I'm good.
Right.
No problem. He can
and
talk
not only that
talk,
too, man. Not only that, man. This is a motherfucker, man, who disrespects and doesn't pay homage to the greats, man. You talking about, man, you can KO Joe Louis, man. Even if you felt that way, man, don't go public about that shit, man. Keep it in your circle.
Crazy.
Like, man, I mean, it's just wild, man, how people can still rep him, man. Like, to me, that just says a lot about his so-called followers and fans' character, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you real, you're gonna look at that like, man, what the fuck is going on, man? Like man, rock with this dude, man. You bugging, man.
This dude been mentally deranged like that for, as you said, for a while. Because he said that about Joe Louis a long time ago, and nobody checked him. Like, I remember people criticizing AJ for being, as they call it, media trained. Right? People say, "Oh, he's too media trained." Let me tell you something, bro. You need to be media trained.
Right.
Somebody got to tell you, because if you're naturally a dude who might say some dumb shit, you might need some media training, right? You might need some sanding off, a little polishing. Say, look, don't say nothing stupid. Just keep it clean. Don't disrespect whatever. You need a little training. This dude needs training. Nobody ever said to him, "Come here, bro. Let me talk to you. This is why he goes in and he gets booed in his own country. I was watching the weigh-ins,
right,
and people are booing the fuck out of Deontay Wilder. I'm like, what is this? This is the second time. And they keep booing this man. The British come support their fans. And I'm saying, if you're the king, where are your subjects? Why didn't they come to support you in the fight? Because listen, when I watched the fight again, that did not sound like America.
Not at all. Not at all.
That didn't sound like America. That sounded like the O2 or the people in there singing, in there chanting. What the fuck is going on? You don't have no support. I have a problem with that when people try to take onto themselves these titles. This man said, "Your king is here. Your king is here." I'm well. What? Bro.
Oh man, listen. I mean, but you there's still delusional fans, man. Still follow that fake mess, man. He's a fraud.
Is this a character he's playing, Mar, or does this man really think like that?
You know what? I believe again, man, that again, that he's getting the battery put in his back, man. He has people in his ear, man, telling him you're a king, man, and you have followers. I really do believe that. You know what I mean? I believe that.
Right.
I believe that, man. So he's believing the hype, man. He's believing the hype.
Man,
Like,
I'm
man,
not here.
where's your kingdom at, dog? Like, stop it, man.
Let me tell
You
you
only have
something.
king attributes, bruh. Like, cut it out.
No, nope, he don't. He don't. Let me tell you something. Every morning, right, I got my son, my oldest son. He's 6 years old.
Huh?
And what I try to do in the morning, I speak to him and I tell him, it's like words of affirmation. You know what I mean?
Thank you,
Make
my
him feel
man.
so.
Yes.
That looked like to me a man looking in the mirror, giving himself affirmation. Like, I'm a king. They can't take my
Right.
pride. Is this man talking to himself? Who you talking to?
Hey, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Right? It's like I think it was Tony Robbins or whatever his name was. He used to tell you to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm smart, I'm important, and people like me. That looked like a dude who was doing self-psychology, trying to reassure himself that of his greatness. That didn't look like he was talking to, that looked like he was talking to himself, trying to boost himself back up.
Right. Right.
Bro, you don't need to do all that. You're breaking up, bro.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, man, I
So
just wanted to jump on real quick, man. Hmm? Yeah, go ahead.
man, I appreciate that. No, well, I was gonna ask you, if you were to advise
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder, if you were to, chop it up with this dude and talk to him and tell him what it is, what would your advice be for Deontay moving not just to the next rematch, but in his career as a man? What would you tell this man?
I mean, first off, I would tell him, man, don't even take the third fight, man. There's no use for the third fight.
Wow.
Um, I mean, I would tell him, man, look, as a friend, bro, stay out the media, man, and stop listening. Get rid of the yes men because they ain't your friends, man. Like that dude Ness, like Ness, old fanboy Ness. I can't stand him, man. Like he says he's Wilder's friend. Why don't you tell him the truth then, man? If that's your
Yeah,
friend, tell him the truth.
yeah,
Tell him, bro, listen, man, you're overrated, dog. You're not who you are. Stop with all the theatrical bull crap, man, and just, you know, train. Get this. You don't even run, dog. Stop with all the excuses, man. You got beat. Own up to it. You know what I mean? And just get back on your grind, man. You know what I mean? Take some time off with your family. You know what I mean? You know, be a living example for your kids, man, because your kids gonna look. Hey, look, it's on the internet, man. It's not going away. These kids are gonna see all
right,
this. They're gonna be like, "Hey,
right.
hold on, Dad, you were a liar. You were a fraud. You know
Mm,
what kind of man are you? You know what I
right.
mean? Own up, man. We all make mistakes, man, but own up, man. Like just for real, man. Own up. You know what I mean? So if I was in this corner, man, I'll keep it real with him. Like, look, dog, look, you need to chill out, man. Just fall back and just work on you. You know what I mean? Yeah, and again, get these yes men out your corner, man, out your ear.
Right.
You know, I mean, because we all know, man, like the LDBC and Ness and all them who support him, it's a publicity stunt. It's about making money with them, man. It's about making money with them, man. They're trying to please the casual fans, man, to get that dough, man. That's all it is, man. Let
Right,
him lose
right.
again. Let him lose again, man. Will they continue to follow him, though, man?
You think if Tyson Fury beats this man up again, that's about it?
Man, yes. Will they still follow him, though? Will they still, will Wilder still be their king, so to speak? You know what I
You,
mean?
you know when all this Wilder shit really took off though? Because again, I was a fan of Deontay Wilder because that's who I saw. I didn't see AJ till late. All this shit
Right.
really took off with Deontay Wilder when Anthony Joshua beat Klitschko.
Oh,
When
okay.
when he beat Charles Martin, it was whatever. Charles Martin might have sold his belt. When Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko, all this shit with it's like they was like, look, man, we gotta hype up this dude Deontay. Deontay been a champ for years, since like 2015.
Right.
He wasn't
Exactly.
fucking with Deontay.
Exactly.
Who's this, man? Who's
exactly.
this? Wait, hold on. Who's this?
Yep.
Real talk. What up?
What's up, man?
Who's this?
Speak your piece, baby.
Okay, I guess not. Yeah,
Right.
whoever you are, we can't hear you, man. All right, man, whatever. So, I guess that's a troll or something, pissed off, right? So, because these people actively hunting down streams now. They're trying to get on every stream.
Man,
that,
I'm
speak
trying
for
to
the king.
I am calm, man. Like, man, listen, you can speak the truth, man. Uncut truth, authentic truth about this man. And oh man, you a hater, you a coon, man, you a coon, all this sell out. What are you talking? I'm talking boxing, bro.
Exactly.
Talking boxing, man.
Exactly. That's all we want to talk about.
Yes, like I'm talking boxing, man. The man's been overrated, man. He's been overrated. He just got exposed.
But
he's been overrated.
The people who they call the coons and the haters are actually the ones who care about Deontay Wilder the most, because we've been speaking the truth about this man. Like, bro, he not that good. Like, people have been seeing this coming for a long time. People been seeing this coming.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like,
now
I remember watching Gerald Washington.
White. Right.
Oh man. Say?
Yeah, but go ahead.
I remember watching Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington, who just got knocked out by Charles Martin, beat up Deontay Wilder in Alabama. Right? I remember watching that fight, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? This dude ain't shit. Because Gerald Washington isn't no good fighter. He wasn't a good fighter, then he ain't a good fighter now. Right? And Gerald Washington was smacking up Deontay Wilder in the early round, just boxing him.
Right.
They actually stopped that fight because he started windmilling. And they stopped the fight. But Gerald Washington wasn't knocked down. He wasn't knocked out. They just stopped the fight. Gerald Washington walked back to the corner like he was fine. If you watch the fight, Gerald Washington walked back to the corner completely fine. They just stopped the fight. But Gerald Washington was boxing up Deontay Wilder, punching him up, jabbing him, whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is the heavyweight champion in his hometown. And it's like, nobody told him the truth. Bro, you ain't, I mean.
Nobody told him the truth, man. Like, you know, I mean, do you believe Mark Breland was in his ear, man? Like, look, man, because, we talking about a gold medalist, man, and a seasoned amateur and a seasoned pro, man. I mean, was he just not listening? You know what I mean? Because Mark Breland at one point, man, had to tell him, man, like, man, you got to work on your craft, man. Or was JD's in his ear? You know what I mean? He's on record saying, man, all he needs is his right hand, man. He don't need to get better. That's when I lost respect for that man as a boxer, bro. Like, man, what?
The same Leon Muhammad was talking about after the first Tyson Fury fight that Brilliant walked out the corner, as you said. That 1-2 kid is coming on. 1-2 kid, what up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
1-2 kid, what up? What up, 1-2?
What up, Mara, man? What you up to, man? I see you out here. What's going on, man? You got your channel going?
Nah, man. They just hopped on with Iron Calm, man. Trying to represent, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good
talk this boxing talk, man.
Yeah, man. Wilder definitely need to change his game, man. It get some people with some constructive criticism around him, man. He's not trying to better himself, man.
Facts.
And he fell in love with the right hand. He thought he could get away with it. Wilder put it out there, just walked him down. He couldn't handle the inside game. He couldn't handle the pressure. He couldn't handle the pace. So if I was Wilder's trainer, man, I'd have that dude running right now. When he's not in the gym, he going to be running, and then I'm going to pull out every bag of tricks that I can. I'm going to have him come out southpaw. I'm going to just be switching it all up, man. I'm be doing everything I can to get that man on on his A game. And Marta's right, man. If you got a good right hand, you should be working on your left hand, and his coaches should be telling him that. Why are you working on something that you got as God gifted when you already know you got that? Like, why aren't you working on your hook and your jab? Which I guess he was, according to Tyson Fury, but he could work on a little more too.
Man, let me tell you something. You know, I think.
Hey,
Go ahead.
real quick, Iron Cone, real quick. I know when I came up, man, when I boxed, man, our coach, man, made us jab. Nothing but jabs. All types of jabs. Put us on the heavy bag, man. Tied our right hand behind our back. Jab, man, for like 3 or 4 or 5 rounds, man. Nothing but jabs. And I'm like, man, you know, this is boring. Oh, man, listen. When we got in them matches, man, like, oh, okay, I see why. I see why he did this, because that's the most important punch in boxing, man. You know what I mean? And Deontay Wilder don't even have that. If he had a Larry Holmes jab, bro, he'd probably be the greatest heavyweight ever.
Probably.
Good foot movement. Yeah, man. He'd be pretty damn good. I mean, how would you get past that jab and knowing that right hand was behind it? He'd be like the Tommy Hearns. He'd be like the Tommy Hearns of the heavyweight division.
Just imagine, man. Just imagine if he had the Kronk style, if he had Sugar Hill Stewart or Emmanuel Stewart early on in his career, man. He'd be a dominant heavyweight.
Let me put y'all on to what Antonio Tarver had to say about the fight, bro. Hold on.
Tyson Fury he executed his game plan, and I was so surprised that Wilder had no clue, no answer, and like he was a fish out of water, man. It just really showed, you know, how limited he is. And I question how do you get that far in the first place with just a right hand? I mean, because when you look at his skill set, you know, fundamentals, the basics. All of those things are missing. I mean, I was at a fight at this magnitude, it seemed like it didn't have no answer, bro, and I was shocked at that. I really was.
There's a trilogy.
There's no trilogy for what? Until he goes back and gets better at the fundamentals of boxing. And I'm talking about starting over from scratch, because that's how you build. You gotta build on a great foundation, and the foundation is not there. Oh no, trilogy's over. Let Tyson Fury go ahead and become undisputed champion while you get in the gym, you grind, and you get better. You learn. You get a great coach, and not even a coach, a teacher, somebody that can teach you the skill set, bro. That's it, and that's his only answer, bro. What's the last?
That's Antonio Tarver, man.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
But the truth, exactly.
Yeah, because I dropped the video probably about a year ago talking about him and Anthony Joshua, and I was like, look, both of these guys ain't willing to make the adjustments they need to be great, and that's exactly what happened. And what happens when they reach into this is exactly what I said. What happens when somebody figures them out and they don't have nothing else to fall back on? They don't have a plan B or a plan C. And with Joshua, I was like, his stamina issues. He needs to lose some bulk. And he made that adjustment in his last fight. Will and can, this late in the game, Deontay Wilder make them adjustments? You know, I wouldn't go in for the rematch clause right away.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Bro, let me tell you something. This mentality he has that I'm a king and I'm this and I'm that.
Yep.
Listen, I don't have no issues with people having pride in themselves. But there's a difference between pride and delusion, which I think Deontay Wilder is teetering on. Like, are you just completely deluded? Like, have you convinced yourself you're something other than what you really are?
Right.
Or are you somebody who just believes in himself? Which is it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what Tarver is talking about is essentially going back to complete basic in terms of scrapping everything, bro. Scrapping everything and build you back up as a new fighter again. I mean,
facts.
The rematch is scheduled for July.
That's not far away, man. And that's
I don't think it's not enough time.
when it come to champions and what they're made of, and the one guy that I like right now that always talks the right way is Bivol. He can put on a great show and be like, man, I give myself a B-. I gotta get back in the gym and work on some things. He wants to perfect his craft. This guy, he talking, like you said, it's delusional. Like the comments that he's making is telling you that he's set in that state of mind. That I'm gonna go back to that right hand, and when the things get bad, I'm just gonna launch that right hand. And it's like, man, if that's the only thing you got, and I said, what happens when someone takes away that right hand? What happens when someone takes away that right hand? Then what? And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. They took the right hand away. Of course, he has a shot if he lands a punch, but if he don't land it, man, and that's all you got, man. You ain't got nothing in your trick bag, man. Then you got issues, man. You got issues, and he ain't talking about. And that's what I mean. Like Bivol talking about making improvements after winning. This guy talking about how great he is after a devastating loss. That tells you right there, man. That tells you everything you need to know.
But then, while there's somebody who, again, his mentality has over the years warped into this, as he said, the bronze bomber. Like he walks around like he really is. Like I remember when this was I think it was in the Errol Spence fight, and I'll have to look up the video. It's I think it's Behind the Gloves or one of these things, and he was in the parking lot area of Dallas Stadium. And this was before the Luis Ortiz fight. This is when the AJ 120 that young ads here was asking about. And then he turned on the 120, right? And he was like, oh, man, and the people down there was asking him, well, what you got next? They say you duck the money. I'm going to find the video and put it up. They say you duck the money. He's like, oh, man, we don't need that. We got something special. We got the Ortiz match. And a dude down there said, hey, man, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. But he don't care. He's like, you're going to see it anyway, and you're going to love it. He said, it's going to be so special. It's going to be so great. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't understand what's happening with Deontay Wilder. I need Deontay Wilder to change his mentality. Stop using real issues in the black community to explain away your piss poor career. Stop using black issues that's real to explain why you've never achieved what other people have achieved. I don't like that shit. That offends me.
Right. Yes,
excuses. I am a black man, and we have real colorism issues in our communities. We have real inequality issues in the wider global scheme of things. But none of those things explain why you are how you are. You are how you are because you listen to sycophants, you listen to yes men telling you all this bullshit about yourself. That's why. This dude offends me. You know what I'm saying? When Andre Ward said what Antonio Tarver said against Tyson Fury in the first fight, he said, what happens when the right hand don't land? These LDBC dudes crucified Andre Ward. If they had just said the same thing to Ward and said, bro, Andre Ward is right. You got to work on some other shit. Because Tyson Fury pulled your skirt up.
For greatness, to be great. And then when you take guys like Mayweather who are willing to adapt and make adjustments, but he could do it on the fly. He's been doing it for years, This dude came up with excuses the moment he lost. Every excuse in the book, everybody started coming up with excuses, from his suit to he was somewhat sick to he was having issues prior. He let all the excuses out, and the first thing out of his mouth after making the excuses was, but I ain't making no excuses. It's like, come on, man. It looks bad, man. And what he has to do is focus. He has to focus. I would take the year off if I was his trainer or whatever. I'd tell him to go get back in the gym and get the tune up. That's what I would do just to better him, so that he can achieve that greatness that that he really wants, man. And to put that together, because he's obviously got a desire, but it's almost delusional because he's not taking the right steps to better himself in the process. So if he does it the right way.
If he had taken an L early in his career, he would have been better off now.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. He would be better off. I think it would have helped him, especially not with the whole hype train around him. You know what I'm saying? And I think that ended up hurting him, man. He bought into the hype. I think both of them guys was buying, including AJ, was buying into the hype. Well, I'm just gonna get this fat slob out of here, and got put to sleep.
Right.
You know, but then was like, look, I gotta change it up, man. I gotta make some adjustments. And
Right.
even though he didn't do it on the fly, he went home. He put in that work to
Right.
make the proper adjustments that he had to be for greatness, man. And
Yeah, I
that's what
remember.
they want this guy to be great. That's what he's gonna need to do. That's what all the great champions were made of.
Leading up to the Ruiz rematch, Anthony Joshua was kind of on media lockdown. Like he wasn't really doing shit in the media. Like he every now and again you see like an Instagram post or some shit with him training. You see, little bits and pieces, but he really wasn't talking that much.
Right.
He was just working. It was like they just locked down the gyms and just went straight to work. Right?
Mhm.
But who's gonna be training? Because he's saying he's gonna keep Mark Breland. Let me tell you something, 1-2 kid. If I'm working with somebody and the first sign of adversity you experience, you immediately disparage me and you essentially call me incompetent. You call me an agent for the opposing team.
Mhm.
How am I supposed to work with you again? Like,
Right. It's always going to be in the back of your mind that this man threw me under the bus the moment things didn't go correct. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad thing. And another thing is when you comfortable like that, and like I said, with the adjustments that you got to make, once you're with someone like that, once you get comfortable, once you face adversity again, you go back, you revert back and go, oh, it didn't work that time, but maybe it'll work this time. But you're doing the same thing. And who's
um,
gonna tell him no? I mean, if he ain't listening to the man, and they don't really get along, and the moment he's faced with adversity, he turns on him, then what type of connection and chemistry do they really have?
man, let me tell you something. I'm just tripping out. Like, I decide to keep Mark Breland. Why is Mark Breland subjecting himself to this kind of abuse? For what? You know what I'm saying? For somebody who don't listen to you, somebody who ain't trying to learn nothing from you, somebody who has Jay Diaz as the head trainer over Mark Breland. How is that possible? How is that
Right,
possible?
right. I mean, if I was Breland, man, I wouldn't even want to be in that camp anymore, man. I'm gone. I'm packing my bags. I'm out of here. After
You
all
can't
that,
you can't tell me Mark Breland can't help somebody else. He can surely help somebody else. Who's gonna listen?
exactly.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
And you know what's sad is this, and this is also what I said is if you take a guy who gets that far in his career just on talent alone, basically what he did, and they beat a decent name guy, or they make a huge achievement, it don't matter who you bring in their camp. For the most part, you could take Jermaine Taylor, for instance. And after he beat Hopkins, it didn't matter who they brought in the camp, even when, he had the best, probably the best trainer in the world in his camp, he didn't listen to him because he beat the number one pound for pound fighter, and he didn't make the proper adjustments, because he already achieved greatness too soon, and he lost the hunger to get better. And that's the problem.
Right.
He got to find that hunger, and he got to surround himself with people who are hungry instead of yes men. And if he had people who cared about him, they would let him know that, whether they got heat or not, whether he hated him for that moment or not, he would come back if he achieved greatness and say, you was part of the reason I did this. You changed my mind in this situation. So that's what he needs, man. He needs
Right.
people to motivate him in the right way, not just motivate him the way he wants to be motivated. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And that's just my take on it.
Lou says Wilder comes across to me like a guy who never had attention as a basketballer or football player growing up. And now that he's getting it in boxing, he's just willing to do anything to keep it. Wow. You see, I mean, we've said before that Deontay Wilder doesn't really want to be great. He wants to be famous. This has been the biggest stage he's been on in boxing. This is what I said it on Blackstream. He was looking for this level of fame for a long time because ESPN and Fox did some work in pushing this pay-per-view, even though it didn't do super well. You know what I'm saying? You know, they did a lot of work, right? And a lot of people tuned in from illegal streams also, tuned in to watch this dude fight. And look what happened to him. But this is the problem with fame, because when you get famous, you gotta take the good with the bad. And this is a lot of bad. And he didn't handle this well. So if this dude gets beat up again by Tyson Fury, if he gets beat up again by Tyson Fury, well, what's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna be known as as like a Michael Grant or something.
Well, he wanted fame. This is what you get. This is fame. This is fame. Fame is when CNN is writing about your nonsense excuses. Fame is when, you know, you got your, I think is it his wife or his fiance or whatever, putting up Instagram posts before you even say anything. That's fame. That's fame when people are making memes about you. Anthony Joshua got that too. He got that too. I saw some memes about him that were wonderful. That was hilarious shit. But he took it and he moved on. This dude ain't handling this well.
But I Kong, you know what nobody talk about? I was talking about on Black Channel yesterday. What about Tyson Fury? Like, his pop said that he was going to retire after he did this. So is his head going to be in the game, or is he going to just flip the script again? Because it seemed like whenever he would make them huge achievements, when he beat Klitschko, then he just go into this tirade.
Oh, Tyson?
Now, Tyson Fury. And is he going to flip the script?
I think that's one of the things where his dad was saying he wants Tyson to retire. Tyson is a guy who seems to, well, what we say down here in the Caribbean is that Tyson works with the moon. Like every moon turns, it's something different.
Right.
And this dude doesn't seem to have any consistency. He's very erratic in his behavior.
Right.
So
he gets motivated for one moment.
Right.
And then when he achieves that moment, he like, all right, man, I'm done with that.
Right. What if he goes into an AJ fight unmotivated? What's gonna happen to him?
He gonna get slept. I think AJ is gonna be tougher for him than Wilder, and I think Wilder will be tougher for AJ. Even today, I think it's a triangle theory for me. According to
Kelly Pavlik, no, he says Tyson Fury, AJ is an easier fight for Tyson Fury.
I don't think so.
He says no, but I don't know. A lot. What up, Charles D? What up, Peace King? Peace King. Let me hit you link if you want to get on, Charles D. I mean, I think
some hard punches together.
I think Anthony Joshua is a. I mean, me personally, y'all know what I think. I think Anthony Joshua is the number one heavyweight in the world. I like the dude. I think the dude has a perfect balance in between Wilder and Fury. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Tyson Fury has to be on his A game.
Oh yeah.
Joshua, it's gonna be bad. Like with Wilder in the first fight, he could juck and jive and do all this nonsense. Second fight, he could lick his neck and all this other nonsense. AJ, you might get beat up on the inside. You're not gonna rush this, man.
That's right. That's what I was saying last night. I was like, if he's rushing and AJ like that, he gonna have to pay for that real estate. Ruiz did, even when he got the knockout. He was getting slapped. He was getting slapped up too in the process. You got to pay for that real estate. You ain't just walking on that property and saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna close the distance and get on the inside." That man put 3-4 quick combinations together with some serious power. You're gonna find yourself on your back.
Right. This is not Wilder. I don't understand. People are like, "Oh, it's gonna be." It's like, bro. Do y'all really buy into that? Like, people are acting shocked. Like, I can't believe Wilder lost like that. It's like, but I was telling Martin Machine, right? People like you want to kill. People like Black. People been saying that this moment for Deontay Wilder is coming. Yeah. He only needs somebody that can maintain certain things, and he's done. Because in almost all his fights, he's been losing on all the cards. He keeps losing rounds. It's just that he hasn't fought anybody who can maintain that shit or can knock him out.
When was the last time he was up on the cards in a fight, though?
I don't know. Probably
I can't remember.
Probably Brazil, right? That knocked him on in one round or some shit. I don't know. This dude is weird.
That's another bad thing because he could have got $20 million to fight Brazil, then fought Dylan White, and then fought AJ twice, and all that shit, that Ruiz shit, would have probably never happened, and his loss to Tyson Fury probably would have never happened, and but who knows? Because I think Wilder has a better chance. Like I think Wilder can clip AJ just because he does fight on the outside. And I think AJ has good defense, but he's like you said, he's the middle of them. He's got decent power. He can fight on the inside. He can box a little bit. He's got some skills. He puts combinations together well, but he is a bit chinny. And if Wilder catches him with that right hand, like he could be down on the cards and just clip him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. So I think Wilder's a tougher fight for AJ than Fury. I know that sounds bad in theory. A lot of people ain't gonna like it, but I think that he could do that. And I think Tyson Fury beats Wilder every fight they fight. It just is what it is.
Ain't that fucked up though? Because if Tyson Fury becomes the undisputed champion, Deontay Wilder might he already knows I can't beat this man. I'm never gonna be undisputed.
But here's the other thing though. If Tyson Fury, another thing no one talking about, I just thought about, if Tyson Fury goes 12 with AJ, is he gonna get a decision?
Damn, that's a good question. I don't know. It's a good question. Anthony Joshua is an immensely popular man, so I don't know, bro.
If you beat a guy like AJ or Canelo by a round, you're still gonna lose.
You're a round down, bro.
You're a couple rounds down, man. I mean, shit. Did you see the scorecard when he fought Mayweather, Canelo? They had that man winning. I wanted the scorecard. Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, you see Floyd Mayweather's face. He was like, "Who the fuck is that? That person need to be executed." like who the fuck put that shit up there?
Right.
Like what the fuck? Like that was a clean whitewash, and somebody had that man on a head on the cards. I was like, shit. So that's just that that fame and that's that guy. That's them promoters, working their promotions. And getting a hold of them sanctioning bodies and holding on to them judges, and just still that corruption in there. So let's not.
Charles D said Tyson will get it on the cards because he's more popular in boxing circles.
Yeah.
Look, man. I think who was it? Is it Shizbiz just said Wilder got beat up for less money, bro? Let me tell you something, man. Let's talk about them pay-per-view numbers, right? What up, Laurent? This man, they did maybe 800,000. More than likely, it's less than that. I saw people telling me, "Man, that's good." I'm like, that's not good, because it's two networks that had to put up a lot of resources to get this fight made. It's two networks that needed a certain amount of revenue to make it worth their while, and 800,000 ain't that. They said the break-even point was 1 million. Know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell people, but let me tell you something, man. Pay-per-view is not. The Zone has the right idea. Look, man, just stream the shit, and I get $20 or whatever, $100 a year. So you don't have to stream it. You know what I'm saying?
To get it back where it used to be, because think about if you think about the 90s or the early 2000s when you had like a huge heavyweight fight going down.
Yep.
The views and the pay-per-views were way up, man.
Bro, let me tell you
consideration of what they're considering a success nowadays.
Yep.
And it's like, but you know what? That makes you think though. How much money was they taking away from the fighters? Because they weren't doing half the numbers and they're getting paid twice as much now.
Well, let me tell you something, man. These pirates ain't. They don't care. A lot of people watch this fight. For free, right? They had all types of ways to watch this fight, right?
Mm.
But it begs the question again: why did Deontay Wilder make all these bad mistakes, bro? You could have made $100-something million without even having to worry about pirates. That money was just there,
right?
Like here,
right.
This for you, right?
And why did he get that 20 mil when he fought Ortiz. He got that 20 mil because Lou DiBella set that deal up with DAZN, and he was going to get 20 to fight Brazil. And then he ended up fighting Brazil for like nowhere near that, but they had to guarantee him that 20 to stick around with the PBC.
Yep, DAZN
So
ran the price up.
Lou DiBella actually helped him get that big payday that he got with Ruiz.
And what did he do to Lou DiBella?
Well, Lou DiBella was the one who set up the DAZN deal for the 120 million. And so that's how, but he decided to stay in his lane and not cross the street to make that happen. But then he was like, him and his managers was like, nah, you got to pay him, because if they're offering him this, you got to give him that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he got that 20 mil. You know what I'm saying? So he actually opened up the door for him to make more money.
I got you. And then they fired him, right?
Yeah, they fired him because they had to pay Wilder more.
Exactly. Let me tell you something, man. These people around here, there's my, what up, Smoke? How much does Wilder make for 3 fights? Smoke, I don't know. Look, man, Smoke, I already know your angle, so I'm good. Deontay Wilder, I'm good, Smoke. Don't worry about it. Deontay Wilder came on here and said he's your king. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know no king who don't like treasures. Oh, here's my guy Smoke. What up? Get this Smoke.
What's up, man?
Hey, I heard that song from Taj Mahal.
You heard it? Have you heard it before?
Yeah. No, I never heard that song before.
All right, cool. Yeah, what'd you think of it?
From who? Wait a minute, what'd you say? From who?
Taj Mahal. It was a song. It was a song from a guy called Taj Mahal. I had never heard that song about Saint Kitts, a Saint Kitts woman. It was.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah,
I know that dude. He used to do music with my boy.
Yeah, so Smoke was telling what a song about it, because I'm from Saint Kitts, right? And he had that song about a Saint Kitts woman. I was like, a Saint Kitts woman? What the fuck? Smoke, what up? Talk to me.
What's up, people? I think
Smoke?
Everything's lovely on my what's up, people? Everything's lovely on my end. I hope everybody's blessed. Peace of the panel, peace of the chat. So a week later, we still not congratulating Fury, huh? We still on like piling on Wilder. All right, let's do it.
That's right.
Let's do it. You guys are full of it though. So my man didn't make any money, huh? He just lost $100 million. That's all I have.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Nobody paid for the fight. Everybody just watched it for free. That's what happened.
Apparently.
Okay.
Apparently, Smoke.
You guys are crip walking on my man's grave. There is they are going to fight again.
No, they didn't. We're not crip walking on his grave, because according to his video, the king is here. Your king is well. Smoke.
I'm saying king of pay-per-view, sure. I'm saying king of pay-per-view, yeah.
Which pay-per-views, bro?
The pay-per-view that just got like 60 million. I thought everybody was into all these reports of making money. Like when AJ was supposed to get $80 million, everybody was like, yeah, he got $80 million. As soon as somebody say something good about Wilder, it's a load of crap.
So Smoke,
right, I got you.
So Smoke, 800 or 800 something thousand dollars. If the break-even point is 1 million or something buys, 800,000 split between 2 networks is good.
Okay, can I just explain something?
Where's the back end money, Smoke?
Can I just explain something to this whole like break even being a pay-per-view buy number instead of an actual figure? Break it down, okay, let me when you go to pay your rent, do you pay it in pay-per-view buys or is it a dollar amount? I'm pretty sure it's a dollar. I'm pretty sure it's a dollar. Okay, mortgage or a soda or whatever the hell you pay for.
Yes.
Is it in pay-per-view buys or is it in an actual dollar figure? I'm pretty sure it's a dollar figure. So when you say break even, how come for Wilder fights it's a pay-per-view buy, and how come we only hear this whole idea when it comes to Wilder fights?
Well, that's because Wilder makes it. It's about pay-per-view or whatever. And
Wilder makes it.
Hold on, we understand that the narrative with Fox and why pay-per-view is superior because the back end money. Al Heyman is paying the back end money from the pay-per-views. So the back end money usually comes after, as far as I understand, after everybody else has gotten their cut, the networks and all that, and you get the excess from that, right? No. So if the 2 networks, Martin Machine is back. So if the two networks now have to split 800 and something thousand views or pay-per-view buys, how much back end does that leave for the fighters?
Okay, so you're asking for a real number right now in this question,
How
or
much
are we just talking about?
happened
Or we just talking about
if
back in money?
ESPN and Fox have to split
Mhm.
whatever revenue they made from 850,000 pay-per-view buys, subtracting all their promotion and all that. How much does that leave for fighters? Does that leave much or no?
Okay, it depends on how much they actually extolled in the first place, and you have to understand that both ESPN and Fox are fund. They get their money not from fans, but from commercial revenue, from ad buys, which are already set before the fight happened. Like the money that the money that came from this budget for this fight did not come from fans. It came from advertisers. And you know what? You know how much they make in advertising money? Like $200-300 million a week. If you think that what they're trying to do is just break even on this, they made a ton of money on this. This is not a losing prospect for them. This is a completely winning prospect for them.
You think Wilder made $50 million on this fight?
I don't listen, man. I'm really.
If
you don't know about me,
$50 million on this fight.
If you're asking me, I don't know. If you
Then
ask
if
me, I
he
really
didn't
don't know.
make then we know he would have made at least $50 million to fight Anthony Joshua.
No, he would have made $40 million to fight him twice. But it was but let's back that up because let's just throw AJ out of it for a second and just say the entire deal was $100 million, right? For 3 fights. And there's 3 fights. How much did Wilder actually make?
Okay, fine. Did Wilder make $40 million for the Tyson Fury fight?
What did he make more than 40? I don't know. I really don't know. Like all I can go by is what the reports are saying.
So then we know he would have made $40 million for at least one fight with Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
But we don't know if he made $40 million. Well, I'm telling you.
But we also don't know if he didn't make 50 though. It's not that he didn't just because we don't know it. He might have made more.
Even if he made 50, he made 20, and he made 7. That still don't equal $100 million.
Okay, but the report said he made 20, and then we don't know. So it could be that he made 50, maybe he made 60. How the hell?
Wait. When did he make 20 and 20?
Brazil and Ortiz. Both of them were reported.
Ortiz was reported 20 million, not the Brazil fight.
Yeah, and Brazil too. I mean, I can throw the link in there if he was reported for both of them. But I'll throw the link in.
He got that $20 million for Brazil because of the zone. Because of that. They weren't going to pay him that.
No, well, he got $20 million because Showtime didn't want to let him go. And Showtime was willing to match it.
Okay, Smoke. Look, he ain't make no $100 million. Okay?
Okay, did he make 97? Did he make 110? Did he make 110? We don't know. I mean, listen, for the purposes of piling on.
So you want to argue with me about what we don't know, but I can tell you what he could have made. So basically, then it's all right that Deontay Wilder does things that you don't know, but it's like, okay, look, man, you could have fought this man for undisputed for $100 million. I mean, come on, man.
Okay, I'm not the only one who don't know. You also don't know. You're just assuming that he didn't, so you can put it out. I know what you're telling me. I know what you're telling me because it fits with let's pile on Deontay Wilder. But you actually don't know. I'm gonna
pile on him because Deontay Wilder says he's the king. And kings need criticism. And if he used to get criticized in his career, he wouldn't be making these mistakes.
Oh, yeah. He definitely needs some criticism.
First, he needs a lot more criticism.
Hold on. He needs some criticism. Yeah, I agree.
Deontay Wilder comes on here. Your king is, bro, just relax. Just relax. Just relax.
Okay.
Right?
You think you're going to make $20 million in his next fight? If he fights Fury, right?
I mean, listen, I think he made more than $20 million fighting Fury the first time. Do I know how much he made?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't.
I think he probably made
I think he made more than $20 million. I think if they fight again, he'll make more than $20 million again.
Do you want them to fight again, Smoke?
Hell yeah. And not only do I want him to fight again, I want him to come in like Sonny Liston, only without the towel, right? All right, Mike Tyson. Just trunks, shoes, boxing gloves.
You heard that, Black? Did I not say that last night, Black? I said he should come in with just his like little vest, his cut off shirt, and no socks. So he got legs under.
Smoke.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, man. Real talk.
Yeah.
If you were to advise this man, not on no business shit or whatever, but if you were to advise this man, Deontay Wilder, about how to deal with this situation in terms of his first loss, and it was the type of loss that it was, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to take a week, take 10 days, and then get your ass back to camp and bring in somebody like a Nassim Richardson or a was that dude named Don Charles, the old black dude that used to mess with Kovalev? He used to be part of Rocky Marciano's team. Anyway, one of the old heads in boxing that's all about X and his O's, bring it back to basics and figure out all of his transitions, his transitioning from offense to defense, his transitioning after punches. I'd get him focus on his defense and his transitions, and stop worrying about all this extra stuff and about the fight that isn't actually what's going on in the ring.
Right, getting his head in the game so that he can focus. Right.
Yeah,
that's basically what we're saying.
But both of the things that he said about those fights to me shows me that he's taking on way too much peripheral stuff.
What do you mean?
Like the first one, he was like, I'm trying to bring heavyweight boxing back. It's my first big fight. It's my first pay-per-view. This one, he's like trying to wear masks for Black History Month. Like, forget all that stuff. You already made it. You already made your tens of millions of dollars. You already had your first reign as champ. From my perspective, I think Wilder should be around for like 3 or 4 more fights, and then call it quits.
Hold on. So you're saying 3, 4 more fights? That's it?
Yeah. Because I don't think he has another like 10 defenses in him, right? So try to go for undisputed, get your title back, have a couple more fights, make your dough, and be out.
You think he's going to go for undisputed if he happened to beat Tyson Fury? You think he wouldn't hold the WBC hostage again?
No, I don't think he has that much. No, I don't think he has that much fight left in him.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something though. You said he shouldn't take on the peripheral stuff. Smoke, you know as well as I do, the people that support Deontay well in these other channels, they are the ones who also push this sort of peripheral stuff. And he listens to these people quite intently because he takes some of their talking points also. No, how does he handle that? Because these people seem to be his core support, who actually want him to take on these peripheral things.
Well, the way that he takes them on, the way that he takes on these peripheral things can still be done in a way that is culturally sensitive. Because I think that's what it's talking about, people that have in their same cultural reference points. And that's why I said come in like Mike Tyson or Sonny Liston, because you still keep that same base happy. And nobody needs for him to do all this extra stuff. Like, listen, to me, I'm much older than, I'm not much older, but when that dude was born, I was not a virgin. I'll just put it that way. Right. Right.
And that was a fantastic point too, Iron Kong. That's a fantastic point, man.
I don't my boxing doesn't include masks and stuff like that and all this. I think that the more he can strip it down and the more that he can keep it boxing and not turn it into a WWE show or whatever the hell, then I think his core base will be fine.
I mean, I hope so, because as you said, I see a certain level of personality cult brewing, and there's this weird situation happening. And I think Deontay Wilder is somebody who is susceptible, because I started off this show talking about me as a person who deals in history. I teach classes in history, Black history, African history. I'm a person that's involved in certain movements in the Caribbean for African people. And there's things about Deontay Wilder that really upset me, right? Where he allows people sometimes to make him conflate certain issues that he might have with his career, and then he sort of melds them together. And then it comes out in this way, where he has to be super extra. It's all of this. I think it's a little bit too late, because I think in Deontay's mind, he has to be some outward representation of other people. And he doesn't know how to, as you said, you represent his people, his culture, in a tasteful way, because it's not really him. It's somebody else he's trying to represent for. And I don't like that. So when you were focusing on shit like that, Your focus, as you said, all sorts of peripheral other things. How can I make this into a grand event? You're not worrying about the stuff that counts, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anybody here knows this man at all, but tell him it's not necessary. It's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? You got people telling me about, I see people videos, his entrance was so grand, it's life-changing. I'm like, bro, it's not the entrance we care about, it's the result. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That was the best part of him for the fight, actually. That was his biggest success.
What, the entrance?
Yeah. I mean, because everyone's still talking about it. And when they ain't talking about him getting beat up, they talking about his entrance. So whether you hate it or you loved it, you know what I'm saying? That's all he got really going for him. And then he used that as an excuse to why he didn't win. So I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. And like you said, it should only matter what he does in the ring instead of all this extra stuff. That's what hinders you. Then you buy into your own hype, and then this is the result of that.
Right. And here's the issue. If this man fights again, and if he loses to Tyson Fury, now he has 2 losses on his record. A lot of those people are going to disappear on him. Because they don't really like Wilder. They just like the super chats, right? And I don't like that. But I wish the brother the best. I mean, I'm hoping for Undisputed this summer. According to Antonio Tava, Wilder needs a complete scrapping and rebuilding from the ground up. You agree with that, Smoke?
Scrapping? No. I think he needs I think he needs to become more focused, and he needs to make adjustments. I don't think he needs to scrap everything he's done and then rebuild it from the ground up. No. I think he needs to add. I think he needs more wrinkles to his game. I think his shots are too choreographed. Like I said, his transition from offense to defense was terrible, and it's never been that great. But now against Tyson Fury, he definitely is going to have to do it. But mostly, it's the mentality about going into the fight. Like, Tyson Fury came in like a junkyard dog for a fight, and Wilder was there for a boxing match. He's got to go in there ready for a fight.
I think, Mar, are you there, bro? Is Mar?
Yeah, I'm here. Just listening. Yeah.
Nothing you want to say? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
You can jump in when you feel like it. You don't have to, whatever. Just jump in, bro.
Yeah, letting you talk. Yeah, say his piece.
No, it's just, Smoke, man. Smoke come here as the official spokesman for Bomb Squad International.
Hey, man, you guys out there, if you're saying something I agree with, then I'm down all for it. But if you start
that's
just,
my guy, man.
Yeah,
that's my guy, Smoke, though, man. I like Smoke, man. That's my guy, man. But no, man. I think in terms of his technicals, he has an issue now that he has in his team that he created with Mark Breland. You can't tell me the relationship is going to be cool after this. Like, even though he said he's not going to fire Mark Breland, all the other stuff, how is that going to affect his team going forward, Smoke? I mean,
see, I've thought ever since the first Ortiz fight that there's a problem with what Mark Breland is saying and what Wilder's receiving. I don't, they just don't seem to be on the same page like that. And I remember Mark Breland, the fighter, like that dude had a lot of physical tools, but he was never the guy with the biggest heart. And while Wilder has a bunch of physical tools, also he has Breland also had a hell of an IQ in there too, but heart wasn't his thing. And Wilder to me is like all heart. He might be too much heart, right? But I don't know. I don't think it's the best fit. But regardless of whether Breland's there or not, they need to bring somebody else in because Breland is not the guy that's to help you with your transitions, to get your defense together. Breland's just not that dude.
But how do we know? Jay Diaz is a head trainer.
Right, I got you. But Jay Diaz is the guy that discovered him, right? Jay Diaz is not like how many guys have Jay Diaz brought to to a championship? Exactly one.
But Wilder has him. Look, every time I see a training video with Wilder, it's Jay Diaz holding pads. What is Mark Breland's role? If you have a technician like Mark Breland, what is his role in the team?
Yeah, but Mark Breland's specialty was hands. It was hands and using and fighting tall and delivering that right hand. He's a product of Kronk.
Right.
I mean, in the second part of his career, but Breland is all hands. He's not head movement. He's not feet. He's just not that dude. And now with Tyson Fury, and the only thing about Mark Breland is he's never been anybody's junkyard dog.
Essentially, what you're telling me here is essentially Mark Breland has transferred his lack of heart to Deontay Wilder.
No, I'm saying that Mark Breland has transferred his ability to deliver the right hand to Deontay Wilder, and now Deontay Wilder needs something else.
You think he has enough time to learn that?
I don't know. There's the only way to find out. There's only one way to find out.
If the fight's in July, because it says contractually in July, we don't know if it's going to happen in July, but July. Say July. Does Deontay Wilder have enough time to absorb what he needs to absorb? Because learning something is one thing. Applying that shit, especially with somebody like Tyson, because you don't always get a chance to learn to. It's like with Triple G when he's with his new trainer, right? Triple G is trying out new shit against Deverenchenko. That's not the person you try out new things with, right? How is this going to translate? Because learning is one thing. Can he apply that new stuff to Tyson Fury?
Hey, listen, that's the $100 billion question. That's it. But, I mean, we still don't know who he's going to bring in, and then also how focused he is and whether he can get it together. Like, listen, if he is blaming things that aren't the issue, and he can't clear the decks, then his mind isn't going to be in the right place. But until he gets the person, until he works on, and who's to say that what I'm saying is actually what he needs to work on? This is just from what I see. This is just from what I see. But he brings in the right person. He puts in the work. Let's see what the results come out. We can only tell on fight night. Just one last thing. Fury was with Crunk in the beginning, but he wasn't with Crunk for very long. And then when he switched over, who'd have thought that he would have been able to implement what Crunk was put in, what Crunk implemented that fast? Because that was one of the questions about Fury coming in. Was he with Crunk long enough to make the changes? And yeah, he was.
But Tyson Fury seems to be a person who has a very high boxing IQ, and the application of certain things might come easier. There's some people who learn really fast in class, and some people who take a little bit longer.
Yeah, but the issue is you just don't know until fight night. I mean, they went from Tyson Fury the jokester to Tyson Fury the bloodlicker.
Charles D said, "Smoke, name one significant punch Wilder landed. He needs to regroup completely." That goes back to what Tarver said. Did you hear what Tarver said, by the way?
No, I didn't hear what Tarver said. But he landed two significant right hands, one in the first round, one in the second round. Knocked the spit out Tyson Fury's mouth.
There you go, Charles D. You take that. Let me play for you what Antonio Tarver said, because I don't want to say what he didn't say, okay? Let me just play for you. Hold on for a second, please. Are you seeing this?
Oh, yeah, let me take a look.
Y'all seen Tarver's face?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Smoke, this for you.
Tyson Fury he executed his game plan, and I was so surprised that Wilder had no clue, no answer, and like he was a fish out of water, man. It just really showed, how limited he is. And I question how did he get that far in the first place with just a right hand? I mean, because when you look at it, his skill set, fundamentals, the basics, all of those things are missing. I mean, I was at a fight at this magnitude, it seemed like it didn't have no answer, bro, and I was shocked at that. I really was. There's no trilogy for what? Until he goes back and gets better at the fundamentals of boxing, and I'm talking about starting over from scratch, because that's how you build. You gotta build on a great foundation, and the foundation is not there. Oh no, trilogy's over. Let Tyson Fury go ahead and become undisputed champion while you get in the gym, you grind, and you get better. You learn. You get a great coach, and not even a coach, a teacher, somebody that can teach you the skill set, bro. That's it, and that's.
That was Antonio Tarver, Mo.
Yeah, that's a good advice for a young champion. That's not good advice for an old one. That's not advice for a guy who's on his way out the door. How's that gonna help? Like start over on your way out the door?
Oh, that man is saying, because if you go into a second fight in July and you lose badly, what happens, Smoke? You hear me? Hello?
Yeah. I hear you.
If he loses badly in the second fight again, if he brings and he cannot apply the things or put forth, like, you know, apply the things that he's learned with somebody, if he brings somebody new in, because Wilder was quite proud and was quite critical of Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury left Ben Davison and went to Kronk. Wilder said he's looking for an excuse to, you know, when he loses. And look at me, I'm with the same team I've had all these years, right? So he seems quite content with his team. If he does bring somebody else in, and it's not enough time for him to learn this new stuff, he loses again to the same person. Remember, people already thought he lost the first fight. If he's down 3-0 to the same person, what does that do to Deontay Wilder?
Okay, so the third fight would not be down 3-0. Okay, so let's back that one up. So that's firstly. Secondly, if Tyson Fury is better than him, he's just better than him. It doesn't matter if they fought in 2 years from now or now. You know, basic fundamentals like that sounds great, just in a vacuum, but he still's got to fight Tyson Fury, and it's not basic fundamentals that's going to beat Tyson Fury. You know, like the whole thing sounds nice, but what I'm saying is the dude, it's a prize fight, right? At this point, this fight is probably the biggest payday that he has. Win or lose, right? Might as well take it. If you win, you go on to fight better days. If not, probably not. Your paydays go down. But like I said, if I'm Wilder, I'm out in 3-4 fights anyway.
Okay, Smoke, let me ask you this. How can Wilder beat him in the third fight, though?
That's what
he have to do.
That's what I was saying. He needs to work on his transition to offense, his transition from punches, and also he's got to come in ready for a fight, not just a boxing match. So if Fury is Fury's choking him,
costume.
Oh man, that all them costumes, all that's got to go. But it's not Halloween. It's a fight. It's not WWE. It's not Lucha Libre. Like stop all that. Stop all that.
To Wilder, he said he's going to continue with the same people. They did an interview with the people, and Wilder said he's going to continue with them. So Smoke, you're going to have to chill.
Yeah, no, but he also said he's not doing that costume stuff anymore. But like I said, he needs to be prepared for a fight. Like when a guy fouls you, you're supposed to foul him back. You're supposed to discourage him from fouling you. You're not just supposed to take it.
I mean, like 1-2 Kids said, man, he can work on his footwork too, man. I mean, that's a possibility. He can learn footwork.
Yeah,
it's not hard to learn.
I get it. You know, his footwork wasn't the best, but I don't think his improved footwork is going to be the thing that beats Fury. I think at least in that fight, at least in that particular fight, like I said, he was able to land the right hand, but it was early, right? So every fighter's strong in the first 3 rounds.
Footwork would really help in the transition from offense to defense because he's always ready to throw.
Right. So you have to have the correct footwork in order to do that, but it's just not footwork by itself. Like that's what I'm saying. The footwork has to be behind it.
It ain't gonna hurt.
And that's what I'm saying. The strategy has to be, how do you transition from throwing a punch to taking a punch? How do you transition from one shot to the next shot? And yeah, correct footwork. You need correct footwork in order to do that, but it's not correct. Footwork is not the ultimate goal. It's the transition that's the ultimate goal, right?
I guess, but you need it. I'm just saying it's a part of it. You asking them to learn a hell of a lot. I'm just saying tweak his game the best he can from where he's at. If he wants this payday that bad, but like I said, for longevity, I would wait. I'd wait it out and then try to get the unified champion in the process because you know that fight would still be waiting in the win.
Tell y'all something, man. I just hope Deontay Wilder stops this self-delusion. As I told you, I don't know if it's self-confidence or he's teetering on delusion. I don't like that video he put out. I did not like that video at all for multiple reasons. I just didn't like the video. He just doing this anyway. Last topic. Not going to take long on this one at all. because I don't. This is an hour and a half stream, and y'all know I don't do long streams. This is weird. Andy Ruiz was looking real soggy on Fox Sports or whatever, sweating under them lights. I don't like how they did my man Andy Ruiz. They had him under these hot lights, and he was sweating. As a fat dude myself, I understand how being chubby and bright lights can affect you. They did my man wrong. But Andy Ruiz says he needs a tune-up before he fights King Kong Ortiz. But he's ready to fight Tyson Fury or trilogy with Anthony Joshua. Any comments?
Another delusion. He ain't got his head in the game.
What's up?
He should be in absolutely in great shape right now. You know what I'm saying? Especially after having that loss to AJ. I mean, he made it to that pinnacle, and now he just riding that wave instead of saying, well, now that those are my titles and I want them back. Like, he's not in the gym. He got 1 foot out the game and 1 foot in the kitchen, basically. So
I don't know. Like, he was on, and he was like talking about how Wilder lost, and he wants a shot at Tyson also. I'm like, you just said you wanted to tune up for Ruiz,
right? For Ruiz, exactly.
Ortiz. What? Bro, has anybody heard if this man is training or if he's picked a trainer yet? What's happening with Andy Ruiz, man? Anybody at all?
I mean, the last I heard, man, which y'all
I haven't heard. I haven't heard him getting a new trainer.
That was it. It was Teddy Atlas. Man. That was the last I heard.
I mean, it came out that he was offered $2 million in UK and $5 million in America. He said no. Okay, but you're no closer to a fight. Like, no fight. You're not closer to any fight because you want a tune-up, which means you don't have a tune-up coming. So not like you have a fight set up as a tune-up. You're still looking for a tune-up, and you don't have a trainer. Is Andy Ruiz ever going to get his shit together? I mean, this dude doesn't look like... It looks like Matchroom ruined Andy Ruiz with that money.
It's possible, man. He's a talented fighter, but that's the thing, man. He got to be motivated, and it doesn't matter if he changes his trainer if he ain't listening.
But also you have to understand that Andy Ruiz was out of the game before he left Top Rank. He was going back to construction. This whole, his success. I wouldn't necessarily say that Matchroom ruined him with the money. What they did was they made him content. Now the thing is, can you get hungry in a way that isn't food related?
Oh, that was a little smoke. Don't do that.
Wait, man, you guys.
I'm a big guy, and
you said you said 1 foot in the ring and 1 foot in the kitchen, like
Yeah, look, man. I'm a big man myself, and I don't appreciate y'all doing that to my guy. All right, I root for that. Okay, so I'm saying this man is out here. He's not training. He's not doing anything. Andy Ruiz could have a future in heavyweight boxing. Okay, fine. You're gonna send a PBC lane. That's fine. PBC has multiple heavyweights that you can fight. Multiple. You don't have to deal with Matchroom if you don't want to deal with Matchroom. But why does Andy Ruiz need a tune-up fight? For who?
And well, the thing about Ruiz is he's not in Wilder's position, right? He's not an older guy on his way out. He was already on his way out, and he was still a young guy. So the question is, how do you motivate the guy? And how much time does he have to motivate? I don't know that Ruiz's next fight is the end all and be all of his career, like it is for Wilder, right? I think Ruiz has time to figure it out. I guess long story short.
Listen, Lou, you're gonna have to stop making jokes about my guy. Lou said he got Gordon Ramsay as his trainer. Look, man.
Gordon Ramsay was in. I don't know if you guys saw Gordon Ramsay in the ring, in the sideline. Sorry, in the audience through the Fury Wilder fight. But that dude was going crazy.
He seems to like boxing because he was around a few AJ fights and whatever. But anyway, look, man, I'm not gonna have y'all disrespecting a fellow Husky person, and I don't find this funny at all. Right? I didn't like how he looked soggy though on Fox. That was not a good look. But look, man, all I'm saying is Andy Ruiz has, I think he has, Smoke said he has more time, but is the saying true for everything that if you don't use it, you lose it? Like, because he's not doing shit, it looks like. Nothing. He not training, nothing. He looks about the same size.
you know, how long do you think? Like, just let's just travel back into the minor Ruiz, right? And he's at top rank. He's not getting fights. He's like, I'm about to go back to construction, right? So how long do you think he thought it would take him to make 10, $15 million in construction? Probably never.
Never.
You know what I mean? So he got paid out for his old future career already. So he's like, he's on retirement street a little bit. Like, you know, he's still spending, he's still chilling. And at a certain point, his pockets are going to go down. He may fight for money, but that's a different thing than fighting for legacy and fighting for all this other stuff. Like, everything else has to catch up.
Wow. Do we see Andy Ruiz fight twice this year?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's unfortunate, man. Anyway,
He should though.
Anyway, hey yo, man. Before we close out, you know, I want to once again express my complete disdain over the Canelo sweepstakes. Everybody knows how I feel about the situation. I don't like seeing people hold out for some dude. And I also think Canelo Alvarez should vacate the WBA 160 belt. That's my feeling. Anything else from anybody?
I agree with what you just said. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been saying the same thing.
If he's not going to go back to 160, and it really sounds like from what I've heard is that they've set up the Triple G fight for September. That's what I've heard. So Triple G finally does his thing and gets the Canelo fight and whatever. I really don't like the situation that's going on in the 168 division. I don't like it. It seems like people are trying to sell their belts. I don't appreciate that.
In 168 or 160?
168, because you have people. I think Billy Joe Saunders is trying to sell his belt. Personally, I think Billy Joe Saunders is going to retire soon. I don't think he's going to stick around boxing. And if he doesn't get the Canelo fight, he should retire because he's not going to fight Andrade. Billy Joe Saunders wants to cash out. And I think he just should, if he doesn't get the Canelo fight, he should leave boxing.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Because what's next?
What's you gonna do? Yep. That's a good point.
His whole career has essentially been one big holdout. You just, I don't know. I think Smoke said they had sent Canelo a contract, but Frank Warren can't offer Canelo no money.
No, it was Callum Smith he offered the money to.
Oh, but
you know what's scary about that, Iron Kong? It sounds like everyone else trying to pull that trend too, where they're just holding out and just holding belts hostage just for the big payday. Like everyone doing it. It's awful.
I hate this shit so much. Yeah. I hate this.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it from me, man. I want to thank y'all for, you know, keeping me company. I really appreciate y'all giving me our time. Smoke, I appreciate that, man. The Machine, 1-2 Kid. Anything y'all want to say to end it out?
No, I'm good. I think we pretty much touched on everything. Shout out to the entire chat. Thanks for having me on, Iron Kong. Get the Smoke, the Machine. Nice to see you on here and to finally chat with you. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, man. Smoke, anything from here, bro?
OTK. Yeah, man. You know, I just woke up and saw you on. Thanks for having me. Is everyone feeling like boxing is just a little bit boring for the rest of the year now? Or we need a big fight sign like quick? I feel like, but you know, there's fights tonight. I haven't even checked them out yet. But
nah, man, I'm gonna watch the boxing. I mean, it's not boring to me, Smoke.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm gonna watch them too. I'm just saying, like, what fight are we looking forward to now? You know.
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, there's a few solid fights, but nothing that's like a superstar type fight.
Yeah. I guess it's like, you know, Loma Lopez. To see what's cracking with that one. But yeah, you know, Iron Kong, I love your perspective. I love your energy, man. Thanks for having me. Till next time.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah. Hey, thank y'all in the chat for joining me, man. I really, really appreciate it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, Charles D said Bud versus Pacquiao. That might be coming up. Hey man, if Terrence Crawford gets that fight, holy shit. What are them PBC dudes gonna do? They're not gonna like that at all, man. Yeah, Tim W. Mikey Vargas fight tonight, for real. I mean, we didn't pay, really a lot of attention to that card. I mean, it's a nice card and everything, but whatever. Anyway, man, thank y'all for listening in to me. If y'all see fit, hit the like button. I appreciate that. Y'all have a nice day.